Hi, church family. This is Steve Gillman. And anxiety for me has been something that as a child I dealt with. And even though today I don't deal with it to the same degree, certainly as a child it was something I grew up with that would kind of impacted my life in a way to where it was a real struggle for me to deal with daily activities as a young child, and I dealt with it for many years. And for me, the anxiety was something that, even though there were worldly solutions to it that I tried, and those things were helpful to some degree, it wasn't until I made the decision at 10 that I needed to give it up to God and let God be involved through my faith journey in dealing with it and in my prayers. And really until I was about 13 is when I really one day said, I'm just going to let God deal with my anxiety and just give it up to Him. And when I did that, really within about a month, a lot of things that I was dealing with started lessening and eventually went away. It wasn't until I made that decision to really just give up worrying about it that I was really kind of free of it. And it just was something that God took up Himself onto Him and allowed me to be at peace in a way that allowed me to then grow and then not have to deal with it as I became an adult in a way that I dealt as a child. And so I think it's important, having lived through that, two things I think that are important are that you have to giving it up to God is part of many different tools you have to deal with anxiety, and really it's the best tool to really help you as in all things. But secondly, it's an example that in my life, with as many things as I have to do as an adult, many people are shocked to hear that I dealt with anxiety as a child, but we all deal with anxiety, and there's lots of people I deal with that on a daily basis who have to either get up in court or are professionals that eventually you start talking to and learn that everybody's had to deal with it. So it's something that's a human experience, and it's something not to be ashamed of, but it's something that can be fixed in a godly way. I think for me at least, I still, and this is kind of interesting, I still fight back. There's still a natural human desire to take care of things on your own, despite this, godly thing that occurred to me that should make you think the rest of your life you should immediately give everything to God. You go back to your human emotion. You still try to handle it yourself, and that's not your first thought. It should be, but that's not your first thought of, I just need to let God handle it. It's when I get overwhelmed, I think there becomes a moment where my mind goes back to that slight it's a slight feeling as an adult, but that feeling of being overwhelmed as a child. And that's when it enters my mind, almost like a voice of, you just need to give it up to God. You can't sometimes do it all on your own. Most times you can't do it on your own. And I think when I do that and I say a prayer that, I'm just going to lift it up to you, God, there is a feeling that washes over me of relief that I don't get from myself. I can't get it internally from me putting a plan together of how to fix something. And it's always amazing that in weird ways, those things do get better as soon as you make that conscious decision. I feel like things work out in a way that you would have never had them work out on your own because of things that happen, or things happen the way they're supposed to. And even if it's something that maybe is not the best result, it's the result that I think God wants. And so it's easier to accept when you let it go yourself and you're locked in on trying to fix it yourself.